Okay, so now it is part 3 of this shindig, this shebang. And the third category that I had was my friends and my social life. And so my friends were graduating, and my goal I obviously was to, you know, they're my friends who are graduating and I love them, so I want to make every moment count. Thankfully I was able to do that. Living with Megan, it makes it hard to not make every moment count because I felt like every moment we were together it mattered, and it was kind of hard because she worked and she went to class and I had my crazy nursing schedule. But I as I said in my previous video, in my video from last year, Megan is basically a second an appendage to me. And yeah, I was on the phone with her 2 days ago and stuff, but yeah, I'm still talking to Megan all the time. And Jessica, it's funny because Jessica and I we do have a really good relationship in that we are always tagging each other on things on Instagram. And I think it's just kind of hard with Brittany because she does have a weird job, and Brittany's a little harder to get in contact with, but I still talk to Brittany. But anyways, yes, it was, but yeah, at the end of the day it was a delight to see my best friends graduate and be there for them and take lots of pictures and give them lots of hugs. Yeah, so Megan graduated. I sat with, during the graduation ceremony, I sat with her and with her parents. I sat with her parents and I sat with Jessica. And yeah, when Jessica graduated, me and Megan, we went to the ceremony. And so now they have to come to my graduation. Also for my, seeing David graduate was also fun. Because, at the end of the ceremony, her parents, because, right after Megan's name was called, her parent, she left. Her parents left. Jessica left, and so I hung out with David's family for the rest of the ceremony because I wanted to see all my nursing friends graduate. But yeah, it was really cool to just see all my friends graduate. Again, really bummed that, I wasn't graduating with them because the nursing program at Biola kind of screws you over for being 5 years. Again, they're trying to change that, but it really pisses me off still. But anyways, I was really happy to see all my friends graduate. Pictures and hugs. And yeah, so my other goal was to get closer to my nursing friends, which I feel I was able to accomplish. It was difficult though because the nursing schedule, the class schedule is weird, and we only have 2 days where we're in class together, and the rest of the time is clinical, and clinical is independent. That was kind of hard, but I was still able to hang out with them. And I remember one time I went over to Montana's place just to hang out, and yeah, I went to Rayanne. She just got married, and I was really happy that I was able to go to her wedding. Montana, again, I went to the Justin Bieber concert with her, and I think that out of my 4 closest nursing friends, Montana is the one I ended up being the closest to because we had a Bible class together and we sat in class all the time, and I would ask her how we would ask each other how we've been doing relationship wise because that Bible class was about relationships, so that was really fun. And I think and next year we're also gonna have a Bible class together, so that'll be fun to bond over. But yeah, and there's these other 2 girls I ended up getting, I was pretty close with them, but I ended up getting closer to them, named Dakota and Millie, and I love them. They're so funny, and they're always encouraging and enlightening and uplifting. And it was funny too because I mentioned Millie in my I made a video on this movie called Me Before You, which is a bullshit movie that pissed me off, and she gave I gave her shit about watching that about wanting to watch it, then I ended up watching it, and then she was like, no, it's terrible. But yeah, so yes, hey guys. But anyways, that went well, and I was happy to do that. And I feel with the next year coming up, we're just gonna get closer because again, all of our friends are graduated now, and it's just kind of us trying to figure it out and work it out together. And yes, another goal that I had was do awesome stuff with current friends before they go. That was accomplished. One thing that we did, we went to a gay club, and I'm just going to say that I almost died, and I'm not going to get into detail, but I was really glad and thankful that my friends, even though I was feeling terrible the whole time, they were able to take care of me. So I'm very grateful for that. I ended up hanging out with David a lot, and I'm gonna get into more detail about that later. But before, because again, something happened to me. I'm not gonna get into detail, but something happened to me freshman year, and then David was the one who was like, "No, that's really terrible. You should really report that." And he was there with me throughout the entire process of having to report, and that like the feelings beforehand and the aftermath. And there were times like in the middle of the night where I would call him because I was scared and I needed someone to talk to, and like Megan was at work or she was asleep and I didn't want to bug her, but I knew David was up and he would like show up and he would just take care of me. And one time something happened, and then like I was just so scared, and he just, I remember crying into his chest and he just held me because I was terrified. But yes, David and I hung out a lot and we got really close. And then but in general, very happy that I got to do random fun stuff with Meg, and we did so many things together. The thing that comes to the top of my head is we went to Porto's together, which is this Cuban bakery that I totally love. And also, like, the day before I went to my winter Utah trip, we went to, so Megan, Jessica, and I, we went to Big D's, which is this burger place in Whittier, and, like, the food is just ginormous, and it's painful to eat, but it's delicious. And then the day before I went to Utah, me, Megan, Jessica, and David, we went to my favorite Chinese place, and it's hard to, like, introduce people to food that you really like because they might not like it. So, yeah, there's that. But, yeah, like, I live with Meg, so we would do things like, go to Wendy's, go to church together, go to Daiso, because there's a Daiso, like, right next to the school, and I love Daiso. And I remember, like, during Megan had to take a class during during interterm, and I remember I went to Daiso and got her a whole bunch of random stuff because I love her and I wanted her to be happy, even though it, like, sucked she had to take a class. But yes, anyways, my other goal was to maintain my friendship with Nick and Brittany. So Brittany was like, we saw her a couple times because her sister still goes to Biola, even though, again, frustrating that her sister is like a few years younger than me, but she's going to graduate next semester, and it's a personal thing, nothing against her family. But yeah, so like my thing was to Skype Brittany at least once a month, and we together Skyped her once, but that's it. But throughout the year, I'd probably text her like once a month, and I saw her every couple months because she was visiting her sister. But yeah, so like things, and like I was bummed out because currently I'm in Las Vegas taking care of my step grandmother, and Jessica, Megan, and Brittany got to hang out together for a weekend. It made me sad that I was unable to be with them, but I had other family obligations. So yeah, okay, so my other goal was to like text Nick often. And so my friends know, like, okay, so Nick was my best friend pretty much until he graduated, because it's like right after he graduated, he like, I don't know how to describe it. And I guess like you could call me salty for it, because I feel pretty hurt over what happened. Basically, like, it's not like something that he did specifically to piss me off, but, or not piss me off, but like, I'm pretty hurt, and this is why I'm hurt. I would text Nick often just to say hi and see how he's doing, and he would never respond. Or he would respond and it would be like a week later, and like I would say something like, he would respond and I would respond back with like a question, and he would never get back to me. And like I only saw him once, and that was at the Front Bottom show, and I even kind of like made like a, even though it was like a joke, I was serious about it, and even about him like not being very having poor communication skills, I guess. And even his girlfriend was like, oh God, I know, the only person he's really good at communicating with is me. And that kind of hurt me because just because you date someone, that doesn't mean that you completely forget about your friends. Because probably once a month, once every other month, I would ask him how he was doing, and he wouldn't get back to me, or it would be a week later, I would get a response, and then when I text him back, there was nothing coming back my way. And so I know that I shouldn't be super sad over that, but still, like, I feel like I'm putting forth a lot of effort and it's not being reciprocated well. And it's like, I know that you're busy with your new life, post-grad life, and you have a girlfriend now and you still have a job, but it's like, I was just your best friend, supposedly, and you can't even communicate back to me. And it's well, like, and if I'm honest with myself, I knew that he had this problem even before he graduated, because he would tell me about, like, other people in his life and stuff, but still, I feel like, I was your best friend. I know that you have a girlfriend now, and I know that you graduated, but it would still be nice to see you every now and again and hang out with you. I guess that's how it happens. But I will give him a kudos because, like, I remember probably sometime in April or May, like, I got this random phone call, and it was Dora wishing me a happy 6th birthday. Like, you could, like, go online and, like, have Nick Jr. send, like, a voice call from Dora to someone, and, like, Dora was like, happy birthday, you're 6 years old today, and I was like, what the hell? And I tried to figure out who was doing it, who, like, sent that to me. Thought it was Meg, I thought it was David, I thought it was Jessica, but no, it was Nick, and I thought that was really sweet. But yeah, he was like, yeah, like, yeah, just, it's been your birthday and I haven't been able to call you, and I hope everything's well, I'll call you some other time, and he still hasn't called me. And, every time I go to a show, I invite him, and he always says, like, oh, let me see if I could get time off work, but he never gets back to me, even as a courtesy, to just say, like, hey, like, I'm sorry, but I can't make it because of blah, blah, blah. And, not to be shady or anything, but, like, he's always going to Disneyland with his girlfriend, and, like, you know what, fine, that's great, like, you seem to be having a great relationship, going to Disneyland all the time, that sounds like fun, but what about your friends? I honestly feel that, like, I never want to be the person who gets into a relationship and completely forgets about their friends, because it really hurts. And that is what happened. And thank you for that. And now, yes, I'm going to go into my second thing. Okay, bye.